By the end of this video, you'll have a guided Stoic exercise called the evening or bedtime meditation, which will help you put your day up for review, help forgive yourself, increase gratitude, and help you plan for the following day. So this type of evening meditation or bedtime meditation has been suggested by the three main Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and before that Epictetus, all with the intention of building a container in which you can start to reflect on your day, implement how you would like to think and feel and act in a better way tomorrow. And after putting it up for review, you can then implement some key tools from Stoicism, such as memento mori, the dichotomy of control, learning to respond instead of react, problem solving, thinking more objectively and less emotionally. And this container should help you to build a better life tomorrow by honestly and genuinely reflecting on the day and being on your own side. This isn't a rumination of how your day's gone wrong and how that's going to affect negatively the next day. It's being objective, installing some of the principles, some of the virtues that are key to Stoicism, and trying to have your best day tomorrow by doing the work in this container that can then seep out into your day after you go to sleep. So this meditation or Stoic exercise will be done on audio, much like my guided meditations, to take away some of the distraction from having me just sat here and you looking at me whilst perhaps you have your eyes closed and you're going through this visualization or review. So on to the meditation. So thank you for joining me on this guided Stoic bedtime or evening meditation. So take your seat or lie down with your eyes open or closed and begin to think about your day. What went well and what went badly by your own standards. Try not to compare yourself to others here. As the Stoics say, comparison is the thief of joy. See if you can take a position of observer rather than critic and take an objective look on the day's events. It's an alternative to self-observation or overthinking, because that's usually negative. This is a strategic method for your own benefit, as you want the following day to be better as a result of this practice we're doing now. So what has gone well and what mistakes have been made? See if you can admit those faults and pledge to not do them again. This is part of the dichotomy of control, a key Stoic practice. You can only focus on things you can control, your responsive thoughts, your effort, your actions, and not the actions of others, or the past, or the future. This should also help you realize that your life is always in the present, and to live in reality is to live in the present, and realize you can no longer impact on the past. So try not to linger on what's happened in a way that's negative. Try to analyze it, extract what's useful and let go of what isn't. What mindset would you need to have to be a better partner, a better friend, a better colleague? And put this up for review. Remember, a key Stoic tool again which is in your control, is you can choose how you respond in a new way. And this practice can be a place to start that. We do not control events, but only how we respond to them. So reflect on positive and negatives and your plans that you may have had, may have achieved or may not have achieved. And think, are your habits and your daily practices aligning with your vision for the future? If they are, then congratulate yourself. If they're not, forgive yourself and make a broad plan. Then ask yourself which incremental steps can slowly but consistently take you forward towards these positive plans. But also, what small incremental steps can take you away from this vision and choose to not do them. This is like a push and a pull factor, which can be very useful to start the night before. having this idea of things to aim towards, pulling you forward, and then things that, if you carry on the way you have been, will pull you backwards. And that should push you forwards as a result. Ask yourself, how can you be more grateful tomorrow and count your blessings? Try not to take things for granted. You never know how many more times you'll have with people, or how many more times you'll experience the things you would in each day. Ask, how can I congratulate myself? And how am I lucky that I will have another day to practice Stoicism and to live with all the great people in my life? And how can you be a net benefit for those around you and yourself? You could even do a negative visualization here and think how your life could be so much worse and how lucky you are to have what you have right now. Or you could think what a gift it is to just have a roof over your head and the strength to continue to do the things that support yourself, your family, and your community. There are many Stoic methods and tools here, so you don't have to be using them all. This is just an honest review of your day, making peace with the past and committing to making changes the next day. You could use the Stoic idea of enough. I have another video on this, but essentially it's that if you can become at peace with what you have is enough, everything else would be an extra. Everything else would be a bonus, everything else would be a win. So you could die tonight. So when you wake up tomorrow, you say, I have enough. I could have died in the night. So every moment, every experience, every interaction is a win. I think that's a great little tactic that you can start to employ in your bedtime meditation, your evening review before the day ahead. This is about solving problems by thinking them through objectively, adding things to your to-do list, which could be reaching out to someone you love, thanking someone for being in your life, calling someone you haven't in a while. It's about being a better version of yourself by reviewing things, forgiving, and moving forward. These are all good things. It's not a restraining prison of to-dos, but a calm place to remember, let go, and plan positives you'd like to add. When or how did you experience positive emotion in the day that's passed, such as joy or love or awe? And how would you like to experience them again tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week? How could you put yourself in a position to experience more meaning, more connection, and more contentment? Not necessarily transitory, momentary pleasure, but this deeper sense of connection and meaning and well-being. This review process of noticing where you had that meaningful engagement or that connection and really going over it will actually make it more likely to happen in the future because you've recognized it, you've noticed it. So continue to think about your day. You could also go through and think about how you've implemented the 4 Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and how you could use them more often tomorrow. How haven't you used them? How will you use them in the future? Forgive yourself and don't make the same mistakes again. So how could you make wiser decisions? How could you have a greater sense of courage and strength? How could you act in a way that sticks up for yourself or for other people in a just way? And temperance, how could you have more moderation, more self-control, more discipline, but be lenient with others? You could ask, when were you upset or angry or jealous or negatively reacting to things or any other emotion? And how do they map on to the virtues? Did it help you? Or did it actually create unnecessary stress and negatively impact on yourself
and everyone you interacted with? And how could you change that tomorrow? It's about acceptance here, not judgment. We're creating this container to be honest with ourselves, try and draw a line under things, and start afresh tomorrow with that idea of enough. Strategic planning, forgiveness, acceptance, and tomorrow being a gift to implement these ideas. Now, I've mentioned forgiveness a few times. In mindfulness meditation, to restart in the present is the only way to forgive yourself and anybody else. Whereas in Stoicism, to forgive yourself or someone else, you would say it is within your domain of influence. It is in your control how you choose to respond. And that's always in your control. So both are effective ways to be mindful of thoughts, and realizing to see them as thoughts and let go of them is a way into forgiveness. Or to notice that it is in your control how you respond instead of react. It will actually help you sleep better if you've forgiven yourself and released some of that physical, emotional, and psychological tension, and thought through and let go issues that could linger into the next day. Many of us wake up feeling the same as we did the night before because we haven't really processed things, and this is that container to allow that processing to happen. You're literally restarting your day again and again through an acceptance and forgiving mental attitude. So, crucially, another Stoic tool, I know there's been a lot that we've been using, but really it's that container, reviewing, accepting, and then implementing these tools. And the final one, which I think is so powerful, is the idea of memento mori. This idea that we are going to die, and you could die at any point. And if you were to die now, which you could, then tomorrow would be a gift, as we spoke about with enough. But we can actually live from this frame of mind right now or tomorrow if we choose to practice it. It's not supposed to be negative or nihilistic. It's supposed to energize us to live as much as we can in the present and be engaged in whatever we're doing. What a gift it is to have these sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, interactions. Because obviously it could just all be gone at any point. So it should energize us, not fill us with dread. We can right now use memento mori, but in this example, try and think about it now in relationship to tomorrow morning, waking up and being a true bonus. So how could you have done a little bit more today? And then how can you implement that tomorrow? What do you congratulate yourself today for? What do you forgive yourself today for? And how do you implement some of these tools of memento mori, of enough, of the dichotomy of control, being in or out, of the Stoic virtues of wisdom and courage and justice and temperance? And how can we begin to solve problems, forgive ourselves, form a plan, congratulate ourselves? So we'll draw this little exercise to a close here. I really hope that these tools, combined with an honest, compassionate review of your day and mental preparation for tomorrow, can be useful and beneficial to help you live a better life, a more examined and clarified life, which should increase your well-being and motivation as you go through your day tomorrow, to make better decisions and to know you're working in accordance to a system if things go wrong, forming a plan, forgiving yourself, congratulating yourself, knowing your how and your why. All of this is in a kind way. You're on your own team. How could you put yourself in a position to experience more meaning, connection, and contentment tomorrow? be on your own side and practice this. And this is just one way of implementing some of the Stoic tools that is specific to the evening. I really hope this helped, and thank you very much for listening.